Hi folks, this is Magpie265. Welcome back to Medieval Blacksmith. Now I have been doing a bit of grinding off camera, as you will see by the 39,954 coins we have, which is almost enough to pay both our rent and our debts to our loan he's like the merchant leader person, guild head, whatever. So we are doing well on cash. We are also doing well on ores. You see, I've not only been grinding, not only been grinding with the weapons I've been building, or crafting, or forging. That's the correct word. Forging. Sorry, I'm full of nervous energy today. I'll explain in a little bit. But we have got a lot of ore, as much ore as I could really get together. A couple of them we've only got one or two. I've only got one or two of these Savannah. And I think I've only got one Serath, but I have got I've only got two of these Canker as well, but we've got loads of the Scylla and lots of silver. Oh, so that's iron, isn't it? I don't think I've got any silver. Have I got any silver? Yeah, I've got 2 silver left, but that is partly because I have made a few weapons already. They are on here, and as you can tell from looking at them, we may or may not have some more materials we can use on the handles and some more woods we can use, and I am particularly proud of this bad boy here. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? Now what I have been doing is, if I just examine these, I have been setting this. Oh, that's not what I need to do. It's I for see the stats. Don't want to examine. I have been setting the sell price high, putting the chance to sell at like 10%. And I've done this because I was setting them somewhere in the middle, like 50-40% chance to sell. But I'm only getting maybe 600 for that. Whereas if I bring it all the way up to around the 10% mark, I'm getting nearly double. And it's okay, they don't sell as often. But when they were priced midway, they were selling so quickly that I didn't have time to make the next weapon before someone was buying them. Whereas now, not everyone that comes in is going to buy one. She may not take one now. Will she? Won't she? No. Okay, so she hasn't taken it. And I've been managed to get a bit of a stock built up. But they are still selling pretty regularly. And the fact that they're going for such a high value does mean that I'm making a lot of money, which is why we are at nearly 40,000. So we've got a new customer. Now, the last customer you saw was Silo. Now, Silo's order was a bit of a stumbling block for me for a little while. I could not get it right, even off camera. And then I realised that I am a complete idiot. The common requirement was a minimum, not a specific. So it had to be greater than common, which meant all them mastercrafted weapons I was making for him by accident were fine. The only thing I needed to get was the cut rate. And if I come over here into our weapon desk and we do a design, now if I just throw a random handle, it doesn't really matter, the handle's irrelevant, the guard's all irrelevant, the blade, we'll just throw a straight blade and a point on it, right? Now that cut rate is at 6.5, but if I change the ore type, see, iron makes it 10, silver not as good, gold not as good, Canker 16. Brilliant. So things like that make a big difference. So if I wanted a really high cut rate, I could go for, say, Gorilla Ore at 21, and then I can change the fuller and I can get a little bit higher. Not much, admittedly, but you can get a couple extra points. There you go, 21.89 with the hexagonal. Yeah, I think that's about the best. Don't think that it does, even the handle type, like the wood, does. So you can change that as well, and if you quench it, it goes up by quite a bit. Goes from 22 to 27. So that is how to get your rates up when you're asked for a specific cut rate or piercing rate. What else have I got to tell you? That's about it, really, I think, apart from the fact that we've got some new woods. Oh, no, it isn't. There is now, this was brought up in the comments as well, of when you are smelting and everything and you have extra, can you keep it going? And yes, you can. Just pour the rest. You reset the mold chuck your little bits. I mean, you'll see it when I make some weapons in a minute, but reset the mold, chuck your little bits in your heating furnace, keep them warm, ready for doing. Reset the mold, and then you can just keep pouring them out. And all you need to do is pop them in the chest, which is why a chest is now full of pommels and guards. I mean, not as many as I had, a lot in there. You can also keep blade bars and actual blades over here, and then you can just come over and you can pick them up as you want, and then you just need to put them back on there, and so long as they're on there, they won't go anywhere. Yeah, that's our nice selection of woods as well. That is every wood in the game we have available to us, and that is it. So let's see what our new customer wants from us. She's very polite, isn't she? Okay. I can see where this is going already. Okay, this is not going where I thought it was. I thought she was going, oh, but I need a free sword in order to be able to join the army. Please make me a free sword, because everybody seems to want something for free. But this, she just wants a lightweight two-handed sword. Not more than 1.1 kilos. Has to be at least a good, with a 90% quench, under 1.1 kilos. I generally find that if you go with the middle one, then it's okay. They'll take either the lower, the high one they usually won't, but the middle one they seem to have. Oh, that's actually the first person that's ever questioned it. How about 2,000? Do you know what? I'm gonna. Right, she's not gonna say yes to the 3,000, so we'll take 2,000. 2,000 is better than nothing, I suppose. So let's see if we can design a two-handed sword. Let's have a look, see what we need to make it. So, two-handed sword, blade needs to be 81 to 110. Well, she's getting the smallest possible because she's skimping on the price, and the hilt needs to be between 0 and 40. Okay, so an 80 centimeter blade. Reset that because that was just thrown together. Pommel. I suppose a guard should have quite a two-handed sword, sorry, should have quite a decent guard on it. This sort of handle shape is what I've been sticking with. One, because it just looks nice and clean and simple, and two, it's quite easy to do on the lathe, where the intricate designs can be a bit trickier. And I've sort of discovered the shape of the handle and how well you lathe it doesn't really seem to affect the price. So I don't really want to spend too much time shaping wood for it to not have any effect. If you like increase the value with fancier handles, then I would, but it's just not worth it. So let's put a little bit of a kink in it, and then we'll just run it straight through. Had to be 80 centimeters, didn't it? Or just over 80 centimeters. So if I do 80 with a point, that is a two-handed sword. Is it if I take out one of the... No, it's one-handed, so I do need to have that one in. Two-handed sword. Now, it needs to be under 1.1 kilograms. So I know if you put a fuller in, you're taking weight out. Okay, 1.85 seems to be the lightest I can make it there. And emerald is the lightest wood, so that drops it to 1.6. Now, I've been through all of the ores, and the only one that brings it under 1.1 is the Tamara. So it's going to have to be made of that. That does say the sell value would be 1,098, and she is paying us 2,000 for it, so I won't grumble too much. I mean, I could always take a bit out of the handle and that would help bring the weight down a little. Yeah, let's do that. That looks okay, doesn't it? So let's... Oh, I was going to use some recycled pieces for it, but I can't because they need to be made of tamra for the weight. Now what I have discovered is if you design your sword, you select your ore here, that's what ore it plans it for. But you use the ore for the blade and you want to use a pommel and a guard that are made of something else, that's absolutely fine. It will let you assemble it. In fact, I've got a couple of them here. You see, we've got copper weapons there. That one, or there might be gold weapons actually. They've got gold handle and pommel there, or guard and pommel, but that's got silver. That's got whatever the black ore is, I can't remember. That's got a mix. So you can do anything you want with that, to be honest. So let's get the forge on the go. Get some fire started. And I have got a little bit of a trick to this as well to keep the ore quality as high as possible. Put a couple shovels of that in there. In fact, we might have another one in here just for the sake of it. Go back to our hand, put that down. Let's get some heat in this. Okay, that's getting there. In the meantime, let's get our ore ready. So it has to be, what was it? Tankra. Tankra? What is Tankra? I don't think that's an ore, is it? Is that an alloy? Is this our first alloy weapon? No, it says ore. Tamra ore, there you go. 2 copper and 1 siller makes a tamra. And now I have to hope that that's going to be enough. 2 copper and 1 siller. I mean, 3 ores should be enough. It's kind of going to have to be though, because I don't have enough copper left to make another batch. Put that down a sec and get our mold ready. Now, this is the thing when you're making alloys. So normally what I would do is I'd have a look in my little book at what temperature copper melts at if I was just making a copper one. So I would come to copper, it melts at 1085, so I would heat it up to 1085 and then take it out. However, the siller doesn't melt until 1831, which means that copper is going to be burnt out by the time that's melted. So I actually think what I need to do is take these back out. Now I've watched a little bit of this game on YouTube from other people. T. Martin does some really good videos on it. I find his stuff really entertaining anyway, and his is really interesting. But I did notice, for instance, he was making alloys and he was heating them up, and then the first ore was melt and he's taking them out, and it hasn't had chance for the second ore to melt yet, which is why he wasn't getting an alloy, he was just getting the one liquid. So we need to get this up to 1800. My plan is, because there is such a big difference in the heats, to heat this up separately and then add the copper by hand, and it should melt. I think that's my plan anyway. That's the theory. Whether or not it works in practice is another matter. I don't want to put the copper in straight away, because that is so hot that the copper will have burnt out. The quality will be so poor that it won't make a good quality blade. Now the other little tip I've got is to have your forge like that, because this way I can see what's in there. So at the minute it says siller ore. The minute that melts, it will say liquid silver ore or something like that, and it will give me the quality. Now unfortunately it doesn't show you the temperature, so I don't know how far off I am. It might take a while to get it to 1900, but at least I'll be able to get it out quickly, and that is how I've been keeping my ore qualities in like 99% range, because then when you close it down and then you leave it for a little bit, you're opening it back up and you're guessing when it's ready. And sometimes you're right and you're close, and other times, you know, it might be down to 96, 95% before you've lifted it to take a look. So if you keep it like this, you can just see it. You've got to be a little bit patient because it takes longer, and you've just got to sit and look at it. But there you go, see? Now it's down to 98% quality. So if I do that and I put the copper ore in, now the copper ore hasn't had chance to melt yet. Oh, that's really dropped down. There we go, Tamra ore. Oh. Ah, it's gone solid again. I don't know why it says 0%. Is that the quality that bad? What did I do wrong? So I've got it heated up and poured, but it still says 0%, so I think I've done something wrong. I'm just not sure what. That would normally imply that I'd overcooked the ore, but its melting point is very high. The copper ore went in at the last possible second. There's nothing in the guide, it just tells you that you have to mix it in the bucket and that you have to do it in the correct ratio, so I don't really know why that hasn't worked. I'm just going to pop those two in there, and I'm going to re-pour into the pommel. Oh, I can't because it's gone cold, hasn't it? Okay, so 3 was actually more than enough because I've got 72% of that one there, which unfortunately that will be wasted. But I have got 2 guard bars and 2 pommels in here as well. So at least we have got a little bit extra to put towards the next thing we forge. Although if the ore quality is that low, I'm not sure we'll actually want to. So it's not the quickest metal to work. You know, you're only getting 3% of a hit, so this is taking a little bit of a while, and that blade bar is going to take some hammering because that is a long piece of metal. So that's fun. I'm glad about that. Oh, we are almost there. That has taken a little longer than I would like. The sun is down, the shops are closed, the customers have left, but we are there. Right, now, the other thing I have worked out is that there is a trick to quenching. Why is it not going to let me? Pop that in there. What temperature is that? 600 odd. Right, that's the trick. Get it to 600 odd degrees, and then you can just go straight in. That may have been a little hot, and I did get a little distracted by... How do you get out of it? I can't... What? There we go, press E. It's been a while since I played it, I'll be honest, I forgot the controls. Yeah, I did get a little distracted because my wife rang just as I was about to do that. So let's try that again. We want to heat it to around about 600 degrees. Maybe just a touch over so that it's 600 by the time I get there. Shouldn't take too long. We've got plenty of heat in this. There we go, 600 degrees. So we run over to the quenching barrel and we should be able to just put it all the way in. And there you go. It's nice and slow by the time it reaches the top, and it practically quenches itself perfectly. So we can now bring that in, put it on the table, and we need our handle. Now, what wood did we say we needed to make the handle of to keep it light? It was emerald. which is this one, I think. Yeah, emerald tree. I've got a cut bit there. And we need... I don't remember how much we need. Crap. So we'll cut that to 20, give or take. Put it on the lathe. And now the lathe. Now I have gotten a bit better with this, and what I find is best is to use this nice broad one. No, it isn't. It's to use this flat one. And I go in the middle. So I'm at the right height there, and then just run along. You don't have to be exact, because like I said earlier, it doesn't really affect the price. You just want to make it look pretty decent for you. So I have to make it look pretty decent anyway. I have to be at least a little bit neat, just for my own, I don't know, peace of mind, whatever it is. There you go. And then I just use the curve one to just come in at the edge and just round down. Oh, and then I go and do a thing like that. I have been getting better at the lathe, I promise. I just made a bit of a mess on this one, but that's okay, because I don't really care. It still looks okay. Let's throw it together, see how it looks. We should probably put a decoration on it for it. Let's see what would go nice with the... Let's go with the black, the Cave Maya skin, and we'll assemble that. I still find the assembly frustrating because you can't stop when you get to a decent number. Like I could stop at 95 or 98, perfect. I could stop right here, but it won't let me. I have to go over and see. Now it goes to 96. It is frustrating because it's hard to be very delicate as well. Like I am clicking the mouse button there and it just wasn't doing anything. You've got to give it like a longer click. Oh, see, I need to get the improvement that lets you be more precise with that. Like what's the skill upgrade? And there we go, a nice quick sharpen, and let's have a look, see if we managed to achieve it. It's junk. And it's junk because the ore quality is 0%. So even though we've hammered everything brilliantly, we've assembled it brilliantly, we've quenched it brilliantly, it's still junk. And I can't sell it for anything. Well, bugger. What an absolute waste of time that has been. So we've got a problem now because I don't know how to make anything with an alloy. We're going to put that on there. I might as well keep it. It's not worth anything, but I just have to bin it otherwise, and it might as well be a decoration if nothing else. It can be a reminder of our absolute failure. So I think maybe the mistake I made was... It's too dark out here to record. Maybe the mistake I made was that I put the copper in separately. Maybe you do, like I was trying to protect the integrity of the ore. I was trying to keep the copper from degrading too far before it became, was it tanker or whatever. Maybe I should have mixed it all and heated it together. So what I will do is I will sleep till tomorrow, then I will go out off camera and pick up some more copper ore, because I think I've got Scylla. Like, just excuse the dark for 1 minute. Yeah, I've got enough Scylla. I'll go get some copper, and then we will have another crack at this tomorrow. Alright, I am stocked up on my ores. It did a little bit of extra mining while I was down there and stocked up on some of the other ones as well. We've got a little bit more than what we did. But I also found Tamra ore. And I'm sure it's Tamra that we're making this out of, isn't it? So, did I actually have Tamra all along? Oh, where did my weapon go? Is it because I built it? Oh, what a pain. Let me rebuild that. Yeah, it was. It was Tamra ore. So I don't know whether I had it all along and I didn't realise, or whether I just by coincidence have found it. So we do have the ore that we need to just make this straight up. I think the other thing I need to do is come over here to our chest and get rid of that Tamra ore guard bar. Down the well you go. And the Tamra ore pommel. Down the well you go. There's just no point keeping them if they have no quality. So now I should make it with the ore, but part of me wants to try this. Let's get some fire. Let's get some fire going. I told you I was full of nervous energy. That is because, for those of you who follow football, today is Carabao Cup semi-final second leg day, where Newcastle United, my team, are taking on Arsenal at home. We're at St James's Park, and we have a 2-goal advantage going into this round, or this second leg. But Arsenal are one hell of a football team and are in great form, having just spanked Man City at the weekend. So I am excited because it's an opportunity for our second cup final in 3 years, and also terrified because it's Arsenal and we could still very easily lose this. And it's not just the losing that we might have to get so close to the final and lose. It's the losing to Arsenal. Like, Arsenal. That is a team I cannot stand. And do you know what? I never used to have a problem with Arsenal. Back in the days of like Thierry Henry and Dennis Bergkamp, no issue with Arsenal. The Invincibles era, they were a fantastic football team. My issue with Arsenal is Arteta. Their manager, just no, can't stand him. Horrible human being. I mean, he might be lovely, but the way he behaves as a football manager, can't stand. And I have just thrown Tankra ore. This is because of the nervous energy. I've just thrown Tankra ore in there, and I didn't want to. That's my backup plan. My current plan is to get the copper ore. I'm willing to risk 2 more copper ore and a Scylla ore to potentially solve the alloy dilemma. The mystery of alloys. How do you do it? So we've got 2 copper, 1 Scylla. We need to shape our mold. That's plenty hot enough. Let's get that open. Pick that up. Whack it in. We'll close that for a minute. How's this doing for heat? That needs a bit of pumping. Let's get that bellowed. Yeah, I can't stand the idea of losing today, especially with a 2-goal advantage at home. You know, we did such a great performance at their place. Is it the Emirates? Yeah. And I don't want to lose now. I really don't. So I am properly nervous, but properly excited at the same time. It's a very, very strange sensation. And that is why I'm a little bit agitated today. If it comes across it in the recording, I was to apologise, but tough. You'll just have to deal with it. So let's see now. The copper ore is liquefied and it is declining quick. And this is my concern, is that the copper ore is going to become so poor quality that when it does turn into Tankra ore, it's again going to be poor quality. But I mean, I don't know what happened with that 0% when we made it before. There we go, Tamra ore 96. So maybe you just have to, you can't get like excellent quality. So that is how you do it. I made a mistake. I was trying to be clever, and if there's one thing I know about me, it's that I'm not clever. So let's whack that in there. Come on, that in there. That in there. And then we'll re-pour what we can. That's gone solid again, so we'll have to put that back in there. See, this is what I mean about keeping it half out. It just lets you have really close control. You can watch for that changing from solid to liquid, and then you lose very, very little of your quality. I don't actually think that's hot enough to melt it. Has a melting temperature of over 1800, so there we go. We've lost very little in the quality. Whereas if you close that up, not only does it gain its heat a lot quicker, but also you have no idea what heat it's at, so you can't monitor it. I mean, I suppose you still have no idea what heat it's at when it's open, but at least you have an idea of what stage it's at. That's gone solid again, hasn't it? No, it's still liquid. Pommel, I think. 72. I should have known, because that's exactly the same as it was last time with the exact same amount of ores. So let's just throw these back over here, because I don't want to lose them. Don't actually know what happens to ores if you leave them on the floor. Maybe it's like the wood and the kids will put it back. I'm not sure, but there we go. We've just sold one of our weapons. So that's what I mean. Even with the prices set very, very high, they don't sell constantly. In fact, I didn't sell any at all yesterday, but we have sold one today. So it is worth it. I just think maybe once I have a bit too much stock, I might bring the prices down a little bit. But there's no point having weapons sell so quickly that your shelves stay empty. You might as well have them sell slowly, but for a lot more money, so long as you've got space on the shelves to put more. You want to kind of have them selling at the same rate that you're building them, preferably. And that way you're always getting the maximum. But I think I will hammer this. Oh no, I've got to hammer that blade again. Oh, I don't know if I want to do that. I mean, I don't have a choice, do I? If I don't do it, I don't bother with the video. That's basically the situation I'm in. So I am going to hammer all of this because I am apparently glutton for punishment, and I will pop back to you with a finished blade. Alrighty, we don't quite have a full weapon, but we have sold 3 of our weapons today. 2 for around about 5,000 and 1 for 10,000, which means we have a fat coin purse at the minute, and it is burning a hole in my pocket. So we are going to speak to Belissa, who I have seen before. I've spoken to her, but she, importantly, sells the potion desk, which we want. So let's buy that, and let's drop 20,000 coins on a potion to quench our weapons with. Now we have air, earth, fire, frost and lightning, and they are all the same price, so it doesn't really matter. But I am currently reading Onyx Storm, if anyone has read that, the 3rd installment of the Fourth Wing saga, and the main character's signet or power is lightning. So in honor of that, let's buy the lightning potion and leave, because we are now back to not having enough money to pay our rent. But that's okay, because you can see that little green progress bar underneath our cash total. That is how far away we are from the rent being due. So we are only about halfway, and we are doing absolutely fine. Now I have left our weapon in the heating furnace, because although she doesn't deserve it, she's only paying us 2,000. Go on, buy it. Ah, he didn't buy it. Where is our potion desk? Oh, it goes over there in our bedroom. Yeah, she may only be paying us 2,000 and probably doesn't deserve it. But let's take the lightning potion, because it is the only weapon we have currently that we can forge. So let's pour that in there. Is that... Oh no, you pour with the right button. So that's now lightning potion. Which, let's be fair, all of our weapons are going to be from now on, unless we have to quench them in clear water for a customer order. And let's come over here and pick up our blade bar. Now it is a bit hot at the minute, so I might just let it cool briefly. In fact, can we drop it in that? There you go. Probably cooled it a little much, but it's quicker to heat up than it is to cool, you see. So let's get it back in there. Want it to just about 600 degrees, and then we're going to whack it in some lightning potion for our first ever magically quenched weapon. And we're going. 99%. That is bang on perfect. Look at it tingle. Doesn't that look amazing? Right. Let's get this bad boy built. I have already done the handle, and oh, look at that shine. Oh, I haven't picked up the pommel and the guard bar. They're still over here. I have done an excellent job, if I do say so myself, on turning our handle. It is practically perfect. So she's getting a far better weapon here than she really deserves. But what can I say? Let's go with the Maya skin again, because I still think that's going to be the best looking one for this weapon. And let's see if we can assemble it at least a little bit better. Oh, she's leaving. Are you kidding me? We're literally seconds away from completing her weapon, and she's going, and we're going to have to wait till tomorrow morning to give it to her. Oh, that is some good assembly so far. A touch over, but it's not bad. All in all, that is a pretty well assembled weapon. Oh, look at it. Oh, it even makes a cool noise when you swing it. It's like a lightsaber. Well, that one isn't, but the backhand one is. That one! That sounds like a lightsaber. Oh, I love it. Right, let's get it sharpened. There we go. One perfectly sharp lightsaber. Oh, I've just thrown it across the room. I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to swing it. Right, let's have a look at its stats. It is a legendary weapon. Our first legendary. We've been making masterworks, but we have not been making legendary weapons. Look at that thing. Look at the shine. It is worth far more than she is paying us for it. But it is 96% in the ore quality. We have got 99, 99, 99, 99, 99, 99. The sharpening's at 100%. That seems to be the only one you can get to 100%. Our overall quality, 94%. And if we were to sell it in the shop, I would sell it for around about 10. I'd get $2.5 grand for it. She's only giving us 2, which is a shame, but it doesn't matter, because we are completing our quest. We'll have a happy customer. What should we call it? Should we name it? Can you name it in this bit? Yes, you can. What should we call it? Let's call it Guimarães, in honor of Bruno Guimarães, who will hopefully have a blinding game tonight and see Newcastle through to the cup final. And I think with this lightsaber in hand, that's the perfect place to leave it. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed the episode, please do click that like button. And if you haven't already, do click subscribe so that you won't miss out on any future episodes, including the next one of Medieval Blacksmith, where we will be handing over this blade to our friend, whose name I can't even remember, and completing that order. Thanks very much, folks. I'll see you next time.